Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Leer en de Oud English. I am joined with three lovely Germans here, and we're going to find out whether they can understand Old English. So, first off, I'm here. I'm joined with Korbinian. So, Korbinian, tell us a little bit about who you are and about your book and this and that.
I'm Korbinian. I'm 19 years old from Bavaria, and I'm like the two other gentlemen here. I'm an author, and I write books in German. And if somebody is interested in that, you can look at my Amazon page.
For those watching, the Amazon page will be down in the link below. Right. So Gwain, tell us a bit about yourself to the audience.
I'm an author too. I'm writing in the genre of science fantasy. And yes.
Cool. And where can people find your
Amazon.
Amazon? Okay.
Um, I have one English book too, so you can read it in English and enjoy the story of Avian and the pack in English.
Awesome. And Tobias, tell us about you.
Well, I'm an author as well, and I'm writing fantasy, science fantasy, space opera. I've published one book. It's called Sternenbann, in English, Star Spell. It's in German, but you can also find an English version on Amazon. And right now I'm working on a very, very big project. It's about vampires, a vampire fantasy cyberpunk book. And you will find it too on Amazon in the end of January, maybe.
Everyone's on Amazon, eh? That's
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yes.
KDP.
fair enough. All right. Well, that's fantastic, gentlemen. So for those of you listening or watching, all the links and all that of these fine gentlemen will be down below. Right. So to begin the program, can Germans understand Old English? Because for those of you who don't know, Old English is more closer to German than it is to present day English. But will these men understand it? That's what we're about to find out. So our first sentence is the following. So the template of the program will be I'll read the sentence to our guests here, and they have to figure out what it means, and then I'll show them the text, and then they'll still have to figure out what it means, and then afterwards I'll give the English translation. Okay. So our first sentence. Und he jesah twa scipu.
Mhm.
What do you guys think that means?
Und ģeseah.
You like me to
Franz,
read it?
Skipu? Skipu may be a ship. Ship.
Okay, you're on the right track. I'll read it again for you guys. Und he jesah twa scipu.
I think und is and.
Okay.
I also thought about that. Yes.
He is he.
Mm-hmm.
And he has said two ships. What was it again? Gesagt, similar to German, gesagt, said.
Okay. I can
Couldn't
see
the
where.
second couldn't the second also be something like here?
You guys are on kind of this right track. It's owned is and, he is he, and skipu is ships. So owned he jesah. Okay, I'll speak closer to the mic. Und he jesah twa skipu. And in fact, I'll send.
Twa.
Yeah.
He looked for two
two?
ships.
Two ships.
Okay. So hang on. Let me just paste the text into the chat. If my phone can work, that is. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna copy this and so
And he is
Could ģeseah something be like seen?
okay, now we're getting somewhere. You're on the right
seen.
verb.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So
And
They-
he's seen two ships.
you're almost got it right, but I'll tell the answer. It's and he saw two ships.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, like that final H, that guttural sound later became a W. So yeah, it's the same thing with the what I like to call the Grendel G, or as called in linguistics, the voiced feeler fricative, the sound. That later became a W. So yeah, so and he saw two ships, and he ģeseah scipu. So I'll just get the translation there. And for those that are watching or listening, these sentences will also be in the description below for your enjoyment. Okay, fantastic, guys. Now we're going to go on to the next sentence. Se hÄæl bet micle, lēssa, þonne, ōðre, hağalas.
What was he?
Other. Lēssa, to read.
I'll say it again, and if you guys are still having trouble, I will post it into the chat again. All right. So, se hÄæl bet micle, lēssa, þonne, ōðre, hağalas.
hÄælas.
I think lēssa is to read. ōðre is other. Micle.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you guys a hint. Lēssa is not a verb. But you're right, Gwain, about ōðre meaning other. So.
Okay.
Would you guys like to see the text?
Yes.
Yes,
please.
please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure thing. Let's paste it to you guys right in the chat. There we go.
Se, maybe se is to see.
Okay.
Maybe bit or both.
No, it's an.
Or the say could something be like they?
Okay, so I'll give you the first one. So se is a demonstrative article. It's like saying the. It's like der in German.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially in this context. In other contexts, se could also mean he, or one, if as in like one who does X, Y, and Z. But in this context, it's like the masculine.
Could the second be something like hill?
The large animal. That's my hint.
Rabbit?
A rabbit? No. This is it lives in the water and it's really big.
Oh, a whale.
There you go.
Ah.
Yeah.
I heard from the next room that Gwen shouted out his mobile phone is the battery is low, is empty.
Oh dear. Okay.
Oh my goodness. I just hear him. I hear him just working out something in the next room. All right.
Hope he gets back soon, but you guys.
Smartphone ran out of energy. I'm coming back in a few moments.
I'll be back.
Alright.
Man, tonight's been something else with all these technical errors and now this, you know. But we'll persevere. We'll keep on going, right? So, yeah. Let's hope. Yeah. So yeah. So that's right. hÄæl is whale, and yeah. Yeah. So ōðre, as Gwain guessed, is correct that it does mean other. So you guys are on the right track.
So hṟæl bydd micle lēssa, þonne ōðre abær. The whale both micle lēssa, to let, þonne, þonne. Well, ōðre, other, hÄalas. HÄalas, is this maybe the, what's it in English again? The hand of the fish.
You mean like a palm?
Yes.
It's that. hÄalas does not mean palm. No. It's. I can give you a hint. It's related to the second word in the sentence. Yeah.
HÄalas.
Well, it's hÄalas. Yeah. Yeah, because it has the wind there. Like. Oh, and Gwain's back.
Something like a bird.
Nope. This sentence is all about what that large water animal I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
So
Says the.
no, say is a demonstrative article. It's like der in German. Like, yeah.
So masculine article.
The whale.
Yeah.
The whale.
Bith. What is bith? Maybe it's
Bith is-
both or a bit.
No, or a bee, a form of bee.
Gwain is on the right track. Yes.
Bee. Um. Thonne is this. This. Other.
It's a hard
well,
one.
Well, you okay? Well, you
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from with þonne meaning like the, if you will. No, it's like I would translate in German as like dann. So it's
Thonne. Okay.
yeah. So okay. I know this was a pretty hard one, but I'll tell you. Okay, Korbinian is typing something.
Well, just type what we already know for me to
Okay.
make it easier.
Right. Yeah. Whale is blank blank than other blank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay.
What can be micle lēssa, þonne. Micle.
Okay. Maybe I could say the cognate in Old High German for micle is oops, forgive me. The micle.
Michel.
Yeah, that's the Old High German cognate to micle.
Yeah.
Michel.
I know what that is, Michel, but I'm sure that's
Michel,
not.
Michel is a form of Michael in German.
Yes.
Michel.
Oh, okay, no, not that Michel. Okay, because I'm in Old High German. Okay, so Michel and Michael. Yeah. Would you guys like the answer?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that was a tough one. All right. The answer is that whale is much smaller than other whales. Yeah. hÄalas is the plural of hÄæl.
Ah.
Oh, okay, we could
Ah.
get that one.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is this bit?
Yeah, and the thing is with bith,
Okay.
the weird. Okay, so in Old English, I know it's translated in the present here, but like the word bith, the way you use it, you use it in absolutes. Like for example, or intending to the future. Like you could translate this that the whale will be much smaller than other whales. I mean, and that sentence and that translation would be fine. As well, translating with is for bith, that's like saying that bith is used like it's like saying 1 + 1 is 2, right? Like that's true now and will be true in the future. In that context, you'd use bith. So
It's a third person singular of beon.
that's right. Third person
Beon.
singular present. Yeah. Like, hey bith,
Okay.
heyo bith, hits bith. Yeah.
I didn't think that Old English was so straightforward.
Yeah. The thing is with the verb to be in general in Old English, it's very broken. It's not like one single thing. But I know as well you do have seen in Old English, which is cognate to seen in Old High German, which later became sein. And you do have some forms from that in Old English are used for some cases the subjunctive. Like if I were to say, if like for some religious text, they would say things like, "Oh, God be with you." In that context of the verb to be, that would use like a form from seen, if you will, or in some cases, some variants of that spelling would be sion. But anyway, let us move on. Okay. Unless you guys have anything else to add to about that sentence or about the words we discussed.
No.
It's obvious, no?
Okay. All right. So the next one is it's much longer, but hopefully more interesting to discuss in great detail about linguistics in general. So, ģenāmon Ioseph und hine ģesealdon cīpemonnum und hine ģesealdon und Ēgyptaland.
Who, which name, maybe the first three?
Taken maybe.
Who?
What the word
Ģenāmon.
ģenāmon? Taken.
You're correct about the taken thing. That's right.
Taken.
Yeah.
And something in Egypt, Egyptian land.
Mm-hmm.
Also heard that, yes.
That's right about the Egyptians. That's a very literal translation for the Egyptian part, but yeah. So I'll read it again slowly. So ģenāmon Ioseph und hine ģesealdon cīpemonnum und hine ģesealdon und Ēgyptaland.
He's called Joseph. Joseph.
You got the name right.
Ģenāmon.
Yeah, Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Joseph.
Ģesealdon. Ģesealdon could mean maybe seldom, or maybe to sail to a place, right?
I see where you're coming from, but it doesn't mean that. I can see where you're coming from. It may seem like that, but it's more to do with okay, I will say this. This might give it away. Transaction. That's what the ģesealdon is related with.
Okay. Joseph I'm from Egypt.
Well, okay, I'll give you guys a hint. So hű is a personal pronoun. It's like they.
Okay.
Okay.
They
Yeah. And ģenāmon is in the past. So they took
taken-
Joseph.
took. They took Joseph.
And hine ģesealdon cīpemonnum on hine ģesealdon in Ēgyptaland. I will paste the sentence in
Yes.
you know, because yeah, this is a longer and harder one.
Henne, maybe it's her, like in Norwegian, henne.
That's a good guess, but I'll tell you the German cognate for that. It's ihn. Like
Ah.
it's masculine, accusative, singular. It's like and then you got ihn, and if my German's
Accusative,
correct.
Yeah, it's correct. In, yeah.
Thank you. Let me just paste this to you guys. Yeah. Because this is a hard one. All right. So
They took him to Egypt.
you're on the right track. They did, but they did something before Joseph went to Egypt. So when you look at the sentence there, you got cīpemonnum. So okay, so the first part, I'll tell you a little clue, and this might give it away. It's the first part is a cognate to kaufen in German.
It's a sentence from the Bible, isn't it?
Well, yeah, most likely, yes, it is. Yeah. As with the case.
Kaufen.
Yeah.
Buy.
So okay, let me guys ask you this: Was ist ein Kaufmann?
Merchant.
There you go. That's the word. Yeah. Yeah.
My goodness.
Mercenary.
Merchant. Merchant.
Merchant, right? Merchant, yeah.
Yeah. So in Old English, you got cīpemonnum. To make this a little easier for you guys, it is merchant, but in the plural dative, because we got that un there. Yeah.
They sold him to a merchant.
Yes. That. Oh, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Merchants.
Yeah, that's right. And
Now I understand. Mercenaries were soldiers, paid soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah. And the last part
Merchant.
And the merchants sold him in Egypt land.
Yeah, that's
ģesealdon, to sell.
Yes.
ģesealdon, to sell. Yeah.
Yeah.
The merchants, they took Joseph and sold him Egyptian land.
Well, that kind of it's more like somebody brought Joseph to merchants. And all right, are you guys ready for the translation, for the answer?
Yes.
Okay. Oh boy. All right, let's. You guys did really well for this one. All right, so yeah, so they took Joseph and sold him to merchants, and they sold him into Egypt. So.
Who?
Yeah.
cīpemonnum. Kaufmänner.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, how can I word this? Yeah. The verb sullan or ģesealdon, meaning to sell. But back in the time of Old English, that was your casual word or more common word to say to give. Because when you're selling somebody something, you're in a way giving something. Or, I mean, the word sell in Old English and even today's English can mean different things. Like, it could also mean betray. Or that so-and-so sold us out to, I don't know, the Danes or something like that. But anyway, good job, guys. I do have another one. It's a much shorter one. I will. Whoops. Okay. Right. Copy. And okay, so I'll just read this one out and then. Okay, so þonne, ærnað, hağæl, tōÄrd, þone. Þonne, ærnað, hağæl, tōÄrd, þone.
Then
tōÄrd.
is towards. Theo is maybe cattle.
Gwain, can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by cattle? Like, is it any kind of cattle, or what's the context to the cattle? Do you think it means?
The cattle, like cows or sheep or the kind of livestock cattle.
In general, farm animals.
Like it's in the Futhag too. The cattle, the rune, and Vieh in German.
So I also was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Theo could be cattle.
It is, I believe, from Theo. I think I do have the translation here, but it can mean something else too. But I think it's related to Theo and
Fight, fought.
No.
Theo.
How can I word it? Because the thing is, the word Theo, that later became in English fee, as in something you got to pay for. You know. So yeah. But I don't know if for the translation for that word. Oh yeah, for context, guys, and for those watching or listening, the translations of these sentences, they're not done by me. So they're done by Alfonso, I think his name, Smith, in one of my grammar books. Anyway, so yeah, the word can be related to cattle, but it's more to do with like that which you own. Like it's like, okay, well, I'll give this one word away. Property is the meaning for this.
Property.
Yeah, but
Business in German. Business, possession.
Yes, that which you possess. Yeah, it's pretty much one can give it a broad translation to be that. Yeah, tōÄrd does mean to war, but the rest of it, what do you guys think?
Could you repeat that?
Thonne is them. The what I learned.
Like,
and
it can, but in this context, the thing is with þonne, it can mean then, as in than, as in like you're comparing something, but it can also have the other meaning of like then, as in like
okay,
like as in the context of sequences, right? So, for Korbinian, I'll read the whole thing out again. Þonne, ærnað, hṟæl, tōÄrd Theo.
TōÄrd Theo. Towards him, livestock.
No, it's possession.
Well, it's property is the translation.
Property.
So the sentence is in the chat for you guys.
Okay. Ðonne, ærnað,
all.
Yeah.
What?
Is all. Yeah.
What can be
Um,
þonne? Þonne.
Thone was then, but more than.
In this context, it's like then, as in like in the context of following of sequences, like then so and so did da 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 da. You know, so
Okay, then.
ærnað. What can be ærnað?
okay,
And there was a word in the last sentence. There was who.
yeah, that's right. So and
All.
So hű is like they as a translation. So ærnað is a verb. But to give you guys a hint, take that R in that word and put it at the front, and what do you guys get?
To earn.
If you were to, I can see where you're coming from, but if you were to like take that R and pull a metathesis, move that R to the front of the word, what is it? What do you get? So, looking like, okay, so, because what this word here is an example of metathesis of R. For those listening, what it means that R has like changed positions. So the original word would be ģenāth.
Ārnað. Yeah.
So what word in English kind of would resemble ģenāth?
To run.
There you go. That's it.
Rana. Then.
They
Then
run.
all.
They run.
They run all towards the property.
They run all towards the property.
Yes. Okay. You guys got it. As far as the literal translation, I'll give you guys the answer. I mean, in context, what the translator had in mind. Then galloped they all toward the property. So I think this is in the context of like riding horses and whatnot. But yeah, you guys got it more or less. You know, so good job.
Okay.
So that is the
Right.
yeah. So to be merciful, guys, the next one's very short, and the rest of them are quite short and hopefully easy for you guys. Okay, so the next one is he, him, andwyrde.
Him andwyrde.
Yeah.
He answered him.
Oh, that's right. Bang, you got it.
Antwortete ihm in German.
Yeah, because in German, yeah, you got that in Antwort, you know, right? So it's
Yeah. Answer, Antwort.
Yeah. If that was in today's English, that would be like and word.
Yeah. In Norwegian, it's just svar, so the an fell off. It's just svar.
Really? Yeah. Okay. And in Old English, it's like answarian or answarian to like the answer, but like the older form would have been and swarian or something like that. Yeah. Cool stuff. Okay. All right. Next one. All right. So the next one is þú hæfst þonne fugol und það hús það hierdes.
You have something, the house.
Yeah, the house.
You have something, the house.
That's pretty close. I'll read it again. Hang on, let me just get this ready so I can paste it to you guys. So þú hæfst þonne fugol und það hús það hierdes.
Fugol, birds maybe? Vogel?
Yes, that's right.
Then that bird.
You have pretty birds. You have pretty birds. at your house?
Well, okay, you guys are getting there. However, this þonne has one N, and I'll give you guys a hint. So this þonne is like German den. You know, like the accusative.
Then like okay.
Here, okay, I have the sentence in the text, guys. So
Du hast Ðonne fugol on that who's best. You have
Fugol, bird.
found
Yes.
You have your bird.
that house.
you guys are getting close.
Hierdes. What is hierdes?
You have nice.
The top of the house?
Yes. Yeah.
Nope.
Maybe
Um,
half herd.
So hierdes and thas, well, definitely hierdes.
To hear.
No, it's a noun in the singular genitive, singular possessive.
What's with the English word? I think it's the German word herd. Des Herdes. Des Herdes.
Often.
I can see where you guys are going with this. No, this is okay. I'll give you another hint. It is an occupation. It's for people.
For people occupation. Hierdes. A herd?
There you go. That's literally that's the word. Like, okay, so would you guys like the answer now?
Yeah.
Okay, so the answer is, I'll paste it in there. You have the bird and the house of the herdsman. So
all right.
So thas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thas is the like des in German.
Thus,
Yeah.
I thought about herd. The herd is herde, not herd.
A herde. The
Yeah,
herd.
the herd
Yeah.
of cows.
Yeah.
Ja. Du hast den Vogel. Du hast den Vogel und das Haus der Herde. Des Hirten. The shepherd.
Yes.
The shepherd.
Cool. All right. So the next one is short as well, but we'll see how well you guys get it. Okay, let's try to.
Wait a second, I'll be right back.
Having trouble scrolling to it now. Hang on. Get this ready. Nice. Yeah, I have to say, guys, you guys are doing well.
Thank you.
So far, you know. Yeah, I had to be careful when I had to choose these sentences. Like, I hope I don't make them too hard or too easy. You know, like, you know, some of them you guys can get it right away because it's, you know, not that much different from today's German. Yeah, but yeah, yeah. So while we wait for Gwain, the next sentence is Lytel was gesewen.
Lytel.
I would say something like little, or?
Small, little.
Doesn't
Yes.
mean It does mean small. Yeah, it does mean little. Yeah.
Okay, what was it again?
What was I wanted to ask?
Lytel, hṟalas, gesewen, gesewen.
If you little hṟalas. I'm back.
So I'm just going to repeat again for Gwain. So the sentence is Lytel, hṟalas, gesewen.
He was. You say one.
He was little.
Yes, he was
Seen?
little.
Something like seen, saw.
That is the literal translation. Okay, and
Little he was. Small he was. Little he was.
Korbinian said seen and or yeah. So, and what do you guys think thér means?
There. There.
There? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys, okay, I have to give it to you guys now because you guys more or less get it. The translation is little he. Okay, so this translation is not literal, but this is what Smith has. Little he there appeared. So, like, if you think about it, like somebody who was seen, I guess in some context is like he appeared, or I don't know. That's basically how the translator interpreted wasisean, wasisewan, seen. Sorry, yeah, for appeared. Because the thing is, a translation of a word would vary depending on the context of how that word is used. So it may not mean the same thing every time you use it, because they're different contexts. Right. I'll just copy and paste the sentence in question and the translation. So yeah. Okay. So the next one's a little longer, but hopefully fun to discuss in great detail. So it goes as follows. ģenām hine eft and abær hine on āne.
I think the last on a dune.
It may sound like that, but
The fourth friend, I guess.
On the dune.
Is a beer mentioned in it?
A what?
A beer, the animal.
No. Abær is a verb. Yeah.
To bear something, to carry something.
Yeah.
That's right, actually. Hang on, let me just go and look up something. Yeah, so ģenām hine eft and abær hine on āne. And I'm trying to. Oh my god.
Dune. On a. I thought it was dune, but it isn't. So.
Bear
it up.
Is it?
It would be dune in modern English and dune in German. So.
Is it somebody who bears another person?
Well, I mean, I have to. You are close. It's close in theme, so to speak, with Dune, but it's not related to the word. Well, it's indirectly related with Dune as we know in English, but Dune, forgive, dun, and its inflected form dune, means something a little different. But
Maybe it's a done. Do, did, done.
okay, so
A
we're
hill?
yes, that's it. Well, more specific translation here says mountain, but yes, because
It's almost the same.
yeah, okay, the same.
Dune.
Well, dune later became down, like which it's really
Of course, yeah.
yeah, and yeah, and down of itself is an old way of saying mountain, but like nobody, maybe in some dialects throughout the world they may use that, but it's I think it may be more or less obsolete. But yeah, mountain.
Yeah, dune is a hill of sand, so it's still
Yes.
a hill, sort of.
Well, I mean, I'm reading here. It's apparently the word dune itself is partly from a dialectal form of down. So, from French dune, from Old French dune, or from Middle Dutch dune, from Dutch duin. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly, but there's an old Middle Low German dune. But then again, I don't know whether. I mean, I'm reading off of Wikipedia, Wiktionary here. I don't know. I don't know if this is accurate, but
From Old French?
yeah,
Really?
or possibly it could come from Gaulish, from dunum meaning hill. But like, I mean, there are many ways to.
Dunum, yeah, yes, Dunum, a hill where a fortress is located or a castle.
Likely so. That sounds
Goodness.
plausible.
Indo-European connections.
Oh yes, oh yes. Gotta love those, eh? Yeah, it's deep rabbit hole that this stuff. Yeah, so it's a doublet of down. So dune is a like it's like another doublet. I would think an example of a doublet for those who are listening would be like desk and disc. I think are related, if I'm correct, or Tisch in German
Fish.
and desk.
Table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Desk, tisch. Yeah, desk, tisch. Yeah, I see the
yeah. I think they're cognates.
notice. Yeah, desk, tisch. Right, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, because I know in English you got desk and you got disc from like from like a like I don't know like a CD like a or like a discus that you throw. It's
Yeah.
yeah interesting. But okay, right. So back to the sentence. I will. I don't know if I. Hang on. Let me just paste you guys what the sentence is.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There's kind of. Okay, just give me a moment, gentlemen. Okay. So that is the sentence. So ģenām hine eft and abær hine up on ārnē.
And took him up to a mountain. And took her up to a mountain.
Yeah, something brought up to the mountain, something or someone.
Okay, so this,
Ģenam, maybe ģenam means through, like in the Scandinavian languages, ģenām, through, by
Ģenam.
ģenām,
Ģenāmon, like in Swedish.
That's an interesting guess, but that's not it, unfortunately. But ģenām is related to the previous, a previous verb. It's like it's related to ģenāmon. So
to taken, take.
Yeah. So and this is in the past tense. So yeah.
Okay.
Took.
Took.
Yeah.
And
they took her up. They took them eft. They took him. They took them up.
I've seen that word eft in your videos, but I
Uh,
don't know anymore what it was.
Well,
Eft.
eft is I'll give you one. This eft means can mean back, as in you go back to something, but in this context it means again.
Yeah, of course. They took me again up the hill.
Well, for the last part, I'll give you the answer. So the and, well, the literal translation for the the second half would be and bear him up on a mountain. So yeah, and hine is masculine singular, so it's him in this context. So, would you guys like the answer in full?
Yeah.
Okay.
We took.
Let me just get the text here and then paste it. So then he took him again and bare him up on a mountain. So yeah.
All right, now
The,
makes sense.
yeah, the thing is with tho, it's an interesting word of itself because it can mean then in terms of sequences, but it can also mean the plural like d in German. It can also be used to mean those in the context of those who do X, Y, and Z. You can use thaw in that context. Okay, cool. All right, the next one, second to last one, is much shorter, which I will get ready for you guys. Okay, which I'll read out to you guys right now. Thos thing, ik forgive thee.
The thing I forgive you.
Yeah. The thing.
Okay, it's. I'll paste you guys the text.
Yes, please.
Right,
I
that,
That
yes.
thing
forgive
I
me.
forgive you. The thing I forgive you. This thing I forgive you. Yeah.
This, yes.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, very
Very
close,
simple.
very close. But in this context, for yevan, the main verb here, in some contexts, it can mean like to forgive, as in like let's say somebody does something bad and like and you just like want to let that go, like to make things good again. It can mean that, but it can also mean, excuse me. Depending on the context, it could mean to give up. It could mean like you really give a lot of things away. But in this context, the translation I have here is these things will I give thee. You know, but for a literal translation, the things because thos is like saying these but plural. Thing remains the same when singular and plural. Ik, I, forgive, I give, and the is like dia in German.
Yeah, the.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, so you, the, dear,
yeah,
they.
yeah. It's all related, and in fact, the interesting thing with German, speaking with the word dia and the, is that what happened. How can I word it? Because you have this with Old Saxon as well, because their cognate to dia is the, I believe, and
Mm.
what happened is that you have something called vowel compensation. So you lose that r, and thus by extension to compensate, the vowel in question becomes uh, more stressed, if you will. We have an example of this. I know in Old High German, I forget which dialect. It could be Old East Franconian, but their preposition, so not preposition, your personal pronoun for the word he is Herr, which in the context of Old High German, that H got dropped, and hence today's which most people are familiar with.
Yeah. He was an Old High German, I think. Was. War.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
was.
Somewhere related to the Latin word vir.
Yeah.
That means a man.
Yes. We.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cognate related to Old English where.
Where? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where werewolf is called a werewolf, because a man wolf. Yeah, right.
Yeah, man wolf, and yeah, it's interesting, and to say something is masculine, one way of going about that would be wehrlich.
Yeah, and who means in German wer.
Yes, wer.
And where means who.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just fascinating because I know in German, it's wo for where, but if you go back 1,500 years ago, it was hło, because the H got dropped. Roughly, I believe, in the early Old High German period, but it depends where it got dropped. Some places it dropped a little later, whatnot. Because I know that you do have an Old High German hår, maybe, if I'm correct. It's been a while since I've looked at Old High German text, but definitely you did have, in some cases, you do have that initial H. Well, actually, a good example of this would be the word groß. In German, you have today, but a long time ago, it was groß. But what happened there is something I mentioned a little earlier, pointing towards R. You have what is called R metathesis, where the R got flipped around, but the word would be the same. So we got Old English horse, Old High German Hros, or Hros, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In modern German, Ross.
Yeah.
Yes.
Horse, Ross.
Yeah, and unfortunately, well, depending on how you look at it, due to the influence of Latin and how Latin manifested into among the Germanic speakers, I should say, their word, I don't know the exact Latin word, but it evolved into, in today's German, Pferd.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It was always a miracle to me how Pferd came to be.
I looked this stuff up at Wikipedia someday. Many years ago. It's not from Caballo, it's from a Latin word, yeah.
I think I got it here. It's from late Latin. It's para veredus, or para veredus.
Para veredus, yes. Pferd comes from
Veredus.
Veredus.
We still have the word Ross, but it's more like an archaic form of horse. Pferd.
Oh, okay. So it's an older form. Okay.
And also for me, say Streitross, battle horse, but it isn't used in standard German anymore.
Yes, Streitross.
Except you're writing high fantasy or something, you can say Ross, but not in. It would sound very archaic and awkward if you'd use the word Ross for Pferd.
Yeah. So Ross is associated with medieval times, fantasy stories. Ross, a noble horse for the battle.
Yes.
Now in Germany, you just say Pferd.
Would that word Ross also be associated with high fantasy as well, or?
Yes.
Maybe
Ross,
if you'd use a cake form to light the high fantasy aspects of the story, then you would use the word Ross.
Yeah.
for
I
if
mean, that's
you. Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah, it goes to show that what words are like normal now. Well, it depends where
Yeah.
too. Like you get a word that's like archaic in one language, but not archaic in another. Uh, a good example of this would be, I think, maiden in English, but in German, it's, I think this might be the cognate Mädchen, like meaning girl.
Maiden.
Mädchen
Yes,
is the
yes.
diminutive
Maiden,
of
yeah.
might.
It's a might.
Yeah.
Might.
What
Yeah.
is marked? Marked. The G became an
Mark is
I.
might.
Marked is might, and then it became a Mädchen, and then it became a Mädel. It was a diminutive of the diminutive.
Diminutive of the
Yes.
diminutive. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh man, it's funny how language changes over time, and it's by analogy where some endings of nouns or what have you would influence other nouns. Like for example, in English, we mostly have two, if not one, way to express the plural in nouns. Like typically we just use the final s, but like words like ox, one ox, but two oxen. That's
Ja,
example of a relic from Old
ein
English.
Ochse, zwei Ochsen. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, there you go. You know, it's
For example, going back to horses,
yeah,
in English, a female horse is a mare. In German, it's a Stute. But a very old word for a female horse in German is Mähre. And you see Mähre, a mare. Yeah. But
yeah,
nobody says Mähre anymore. It's just a Stute. So many words who have a many words which have a great connection to the English language are almost forgotten.
it's quite unfortunate, but yeah, that's close to English mare.
But
Hmm?
but Mere, that's more what I know from fairy tale.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's used
Yes.
in fairy tales and not in a regular language anymore.
No,
Or in-
not in fairy tale, as word for fairy tales.
Yeah. That's another word for Märchen. Märchen, yeah.
Yeah, in
So,
Bavaria, some of the younger people don't, but the old are using the word Mere for the fairy tales. There are
yeah,
also some old songs in which this is also used.
Märchen is the diminutive of Meer. So
Yeah, fairy
so
tale Märchen.
it's a little mare, not a mare. It's more like Mädchen. We don't say marked. Marked is fake word. It's a Märchen, diminutive. It's a little ma. So no,
Yeah,
something stupid.
a little neighbor.
Yeah, you guys know so much. You know, you guys are teaching me a lot of things. Incredible, right? All right, so I do have one more sentence uh, for the Old English, and then we can. I think then after this we can wrap up for the for the program. Um, okay, so the next sentence is, and this is the last one. It's a little longer than the last one, but definitely shorter than the other ones. Okay, so it's We will segan som biespel.
We want to
Wait.
say
We.
Yeah.
something with spell. Um,
Okay. All right. So it does.
Please
It
write
can
it.
mean. Hmm?
Please write it.
Yes.
Yes. All right. I'll just get the 1 second, gentlemen. Second. I'm going to just paste it in here. Righto.
We will set an some big spell. we will us second. We wanted to seek you some. We wanted to seek you some big spell.
Ah, man, so close, but Segan does not mean seek though. Yeah, that CG is very misleading.
Say.
Yeah, it
Say
is.
search.
It is to say. Yeah,
Say.
Sagan.
All we wanted to say.
We want to say you some big spell.
B spell. B spell. So that BIG, that's a prefix.
B spell.
I could say the
Prefix,
cognate in German. Beispiel.
Okay.
Beispiel, example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But in this context, that word bispel, in this context, the translation is parable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We want
Parable. Okay.
Yeah.
to say you some example.
Close, but I'll give you guys the translation. So the
We
translation.
wanted. Past form maybe. We wanted.
It's not past. It's present. Because
It looks like a third person singular present,
Yeah.
but it isn't, is it? We is plural.
Yeah.
Ah,
So,
shit.
yeah, you get oth there, so it's depending on the context. So we will loth segan eu som bispel. So
Is you
yeah, but
plural.
singular. Oh, plural. Okay. What case?
Nominative.
No.
No, a genitive. No. It's accusative.
No.
Accusative.
It
Accusative.
can be that. I'll give you that. But in this, but it's the other, the one case you didn't mention. If it's not the direct object, sorry, yeah. If it's not the direct object, then it's the
Indirect object. Dative.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
So
okay. Accusative and euch in German is the same. Accusative and dative in that case.
in Old English, eu in late Old English is both accusative and dative, but depending on the dialect and in early form of Old English, eowic would be the specifically accusative, and eo would be the dative. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ewic. Eternal.
No, it's plural accusative, like saying you. It's like saying oya. Sorry, oi.
Oh, yeah.
Forgive me. Yeah.
Accusative plural.
Yeah. So.
Second
Yeah.
person.
So the translation of this is the one that Smith has here is that we will say to you a parable, but another way of reading this would be we want to tell you a parable or an example or an account, depending on the context. But I was going to say segan here. How can I word it? You could translate it as like say, but it's more accurate to translate it as tell, because your word like to say more often in Old English is the verb quedan. I don't know what would the I think in Old High German it'd be something like quedan. I mean I don't something to the effect of that. My Old High German is a little rusty at the moment, unfortunately, but But yeah, quethon in Old English would be, and quat would be like saying, "Hey, quat,"
Quat.
like he said. Yeah.
Quat. To ask. Quat.
Quat?
Quat.
How that
To
means?
to say something. I know in the old High German song Hildebrands Lied there is a Quat Hildebrand.
That might be. I mean, it's been a while since I looked at Hildebrand. That could be a variation of the past tense, like quat into quat, meaning said he or something. But I guess depending on the context and translator, someone could write that as ask, but I would have to consult that text again. But it's been a while since I've done that. Yeah. So yeah. So we've got will there. It's from the verb willon, cognate to German willen. And yeah, and again, as mentioned earlier about the vowel compensation, we have we in Old English, and you go wir in Old High German. So that goes to show that how much German has changed over 1500 years.
Yeah, depends on the dialect, but yeah.
That too. Forgive me. That too, right? Because some dialects have older features, some have changed features. I mean, it's all about what influence each dialect had in relation to how much Latin was influenced there, or some of the Celtic languages. But you guys would know this better than me, actually, because you guys are from there. And
Yeah.
but yeah, very cool stuff. All right, gentlemen. We've completed all the sentences, and I think it's time to wrap up. But before we do, is there anything else you guys want to say, and like what your thoughts are as a whole of these sentences, and how much you understood or not understood, or this or that?
It was a very nice experience.
Yeah.
It was obvious when we looked at them that
Yes. When we looked at the words, it was quite obvious, but when we just heard it, it was just quite difficult, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the words were so many false friends and cognates that
yeah.
You needed to think a little bit.
But normally, when we Germans who were interested in languages, when we look at an Old English text, we understand about 70%.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Yeah, because I can imagine, because when you guys look at it, you can see right away that's like, well, by a far extension, you guys could argue, well, this looks some obscure dialect of German in some way. But,
right, yes.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, in some way it is, arguably, because, yeah, if you go far back enough, the languages were similar, just different sound changes, and in Old High German, you have Wasser for water, but Water in Old English. So it's essentially it's essentially the same thing, but like just different sound changes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, gentlemen, I cannot thank you enough for participating.
No problem.
In this, you guys made my night, and hope this did for yours as well. And yeah. So anyway, guys, for those of you watching or listening, be sure to check these guys out in the links below. And thank you for watching. And be sure to subscribe if you're new. And if you really like the channel, please become a patron on my Patreon page down below. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.